How's it going, guys? RealRadman here, back at it again with another video. I'm in my new apartment, so if the lighting is different and all that, sorry about that. But for those long-time viewers on the channel, you can tell it's kind of the same. The lighting's the same, just the room and the angle's a little bit different, basically. But yeah, let's start off with the Bristol race reviews. So let's get right into it. So the Bristol night race, you guys already know, is basically one of the best races of the year. The atmosphere, the aura around Bristol, the racing itself. The last couple years have not been, the old Bristol, but I feel like NASCAR this year got a right combination of a new kind of Bristol that, has a lot of multi-groove racing, but also the old style Bristol where the bottom lane was king. I think this year was the first year that you really saw the old Bristol kind of return in a way. It's not fully back to the old Bristol, and it never will be because of the progressive banking, but I think for a compromise for everyone, for people who like the new Bristol, people who like the old Bristol, I think it was a good race. I think the way the track ran and how the cars were on it, it was good. So when you have a car that has a lot of problems, the high-speed tracks, the best way to fix that is always go to short tracks. So I wonder why people always complain for more short tracks. It's no big reason. Short tracks are just awesome. It's where NASCAR was born. This is just the roots of NASCAR, short tracks. So hopefully, if NASCAR wants to think about it, more short tracks on the schedule. Get as many as you can. So the race, right away, Brad Keselowski with an issue on lap 7. He gets a flat tire. That pretty much knocks Keselowski out for the rest of the race, because when you get a flat tire at Bristol, if the caution does not come out, or even if it does come out, you can go down multiple laps, you get damage to the car and all that. So Keselowski's race done with real quick. Stage 1 was pretty good. You had your normal contenders up there, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott. Kyle Busch started in the middle of the pack a little bit, so he wasn't up there immediately. But people, he's won every stage of each race and the race itself in the trucks and the Xfinity. But Kyle Busch would show his way in stage 1, making his way up through the field. The finish to stage 1 was awesome. The last 15 laps, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch going at it. And Kyle Busch would give the bump and run to Kyle Larson to win stage 1. And hey, you gotta do what you gotta do when you gotta win a stage. This is what stage racing creates. You would not have this kind of finish or this kind of racing early on in the race if it wasn't for stage racing. So for the critics of stage racing, here you go. You have exciting racing right here that is created by the product of, hey, there's a playoff point on the line. Truex has already built up his playoff points to hell. You got to catch up. So Larson and Kyle Busch going after the playoff points, and Kyle Busch will go ahead and win stage 1. Now stage 2, on a restart, Truex has to come back down pit road. He said he had a loose wheel, so they replaced the right side tires because he was confident it was the right sides, but they ended up getting a penalty for a tire violation, so he had to come back down pit road, and after that Truex was done, because once you get multiple laps down at Bristol, like I said, it is very impossible to basically get your way back up to contend for a win, unless your name is Jeff Gordon. Martinsville 2005. We then move on to something that is kind of funny to say, I'm not going to lie. Earnhardt and the 3-car crash. For those of you who get the joke, thank you. Jeffrey Earnhardt and Austin Dillon crash. And Dillon took a hard hit. I feel bad for Austin Dillon. I think he's a good driver. He's just in equipment right now that is not suited for his talent level. I think he's shown in the lower series he has talent. He just has to get in a better ride. Or RCR has to get back to the way they were. And maybe the Camaro will help them out with that. A lot of the Chevy teams are relying on the Camaro right now. Now, pit strategy would decide stage 2. Because like most races right now, stage 2 is kind of a sacrifice stage for the guys who want to win the race. So guys like Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, they decide to pit. And Matt Kenseth decides to come out in the front, and he's going to win the stage 2 based off strategy, while guys like Kyle Busch and Eric Jones would regain the top spots heading into stage 3. So who were the fast cars all race? Stage 3, we get into it. It's really Eric Jones, Kyle Busch, Matt Kenseth, Denny Hamlin. You can tell Toyotas, right? All the Toyotas are up there. The only two Chevys that really could contend were Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. No big surprise there. They've been the two fastest Chevys basically all year. Other guys that were able to contend, Kevin Harvick was up there a little bit. Jamie McMurray was up there as well, but not really able to do much. Jimmy Johnson, not really able to do much. He's just lurking around the top 10. So you had all the Toyotas that are dominating like usual. We expected at this point. You have your normal Chevy guys, the only guys that seem to be fast in a Chevy, which is Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. And they're all kind of competing for the win. But Eric Jones and Kyle Busch are really showing their strength. And Eric Jones was the dominant car. I think everyone would agree on that. And Eric Jones, if he won the race, would completely mess up the playoff standings. I mean, You have a point where Chase Elliott, who was 60 points ahead or 70 points ahead, could drop down to being only 5 points ahead. You had Kenseth dropping out, McMurray on the bubble. It messed up everything if Jones was going to win. Unfortunately, Chase Elliott would have an issue late in the race, and Kevin Harvick said he wanted to apologize to Chase Elliott for this. He did not realize the 24 was down there, and Chase Elliott had no room and basically spun off, basically like a NASCAR Heat Evolution kind of thing, spun off the side of Kevin Harvick, hit the wall. His car was still fast, but once you lose a lap, like I said, he got the lucky dog, but then a caution never came out after that, so he couldn't make up any spots. So that was basically the end of Chase Elliott's race. So, Chase Elliott, Jamie Matt Kenseth, what are they thinking? They're thinking, don't let the 77 win at all costs. So we restart, I think with maybe like 80 laps to go, 70 laps to go, somewhere around there. We don't have a caution the rest of the way. Eric Jones has the fastest car. He has the restart. He has the lead on the restart. He pulls away on the restart. Kyle Busch gets passed by Matt Kenseth with about 60 or 50 laps to go. So it's all setting up to Eric Jones winning this race. And then something happens. Something in the middle of the run to Eric Jones' car, it just switched off for a little bit. I don't know what exactly happened. In the middle, you know how runs are at Bristol sometimes. You build up a little bit of tire heat, the pressures come up, the track changes, and for a couple laps, you could just be in a little bit of a struggle. And Eric Jones was struggling for probably 20 to 25 laps. Kyle Busch gets past him. Kenseth gets past him. But once Kenseth gets past him, a couple laps later, Eric Jones picks it back up. And he gets back going again. And he's, going after Kyle Busch. But now it's just too late. He has too much time to make up for. Plus, a big reason as to why he didn't catch Kyle Busch. You had guys like Chase Elliott, who were getting lapped by Kyle Busch. You had guys like Clint Bowyer, who were getting lapped by Kyle Busch. What are those two drivers have against Eric Jones? They don't want him to win. So Chase Elliott races in between Eric Jones and Kyle Busch, and he does not let Eric Jones go. He raced Kyle Busch hard, but usually when you let the leader go, you let second place go as well. Or if the leader passes you, you let second place go. That's why second place usually is able to catch the leader. But in this instance, Clint Bowyer and Chase Elliott did not let Eric Jones off easy and raced him really hard, so Eric Jones was not able to make up a lot of time. Plus, Eric Jones got into a lot of sticky situations where Kyle Busch was able to just drive straight through. He just got bottled up in there, and he was 6/10 back at one point, fall back to 9/10, and it's too much to ask when you got to chase down someone like Kyle Busch. And, you're only 21 years old, you're trying to win your first career race. It's very difficult to ask a rookie just to forget all those mistakes and all those bad luck habits, things that, get stuck in lap cars and still try to run them down. Eventually, time would run out, and Kyle Busch would win it.
You just swept at Bristol!
He basically completes the sweep. He was one stage away from the ultimate sweep, winning every stage and winning all 3 races. That is fantastic. He then, I think, during his burnout, was sticking up a middle finger, or the index finger, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. We'll give him the index finger for now, but I secretly think he was sticking up that middle finger. And then, with the crowd booing, he sticks up a good old 3 in their faces. Clean sweep. Listen, you can hate the man. I'm okay with that. I completely understand hating Kyle Busch. Trust me, you can be a jackass sometimes. But you gotta respect greatness. And this kid, well, not kid, I'm not gonna say that. I remember the comments. He's not a kid. I'm a kid. He's not a kid. This man has driving talent. Insane, 100% driving talent. It's pure that. You've seen it from early on, many years ago. Goes to Gibbs. Gibbs have the fastest cars. When you give a guy like Kyle Busch the fastest cars, he's not going to waste the opportunity that much. This man is great. You got to respect it. Overall, I think the race was pretty good. Didn't have a lot of major wrecks or a lot of heated tempers, so those things you would kind of associate with Bristol. It didn't really have that. But I think the actual racing was pretty good. And I think it was a pretty solid race. So for the letter grade, I would give it a B+. And I think it was a pretty good race overall. Guys, comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the race. Let me know what you thought of the winner. Let me know how you reacted to Eric Jones not winning this race. Because if you're a Chase Elliott fan, if you're a Clint Bowyer fan, if you're a Jamie Mack or a Matt Kenseth fan, you're probably breathing a big sigh of relief that Eric Jones did not win this race. And if you're an Eric Jones fan, of course, will he have another car like that? He had the fastest car. He didn't win the race. In the next 2 races at Darlington or at Richmond, he is with Furniture Row Racing. He still can have the fastest car. But will he have a car like that? That was a very special car. You don't get it often. So let's see if he can win it. Guys, if you like the video, make sure to like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Comment down below, like I said. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the race, and I hope you guys are having a great night. And peace out.
Even if I tried, even if I wanted to, and I can't change. Even if I tried, my love, she keeps me warm.